Hello sports fans, welcome to my channel. This will be the first video in a series. I'm kind of decided that I'm going to start making videos that are they're really for me, these videos, documenting my experiences and what I've learned about motorcycles. Today I want to talk about my new bike, which is the Multistrada V4 Pikes Peak. I got this bike as a consolation prize for an accident involving my previous bike, which was a Multistrada V4S. And I got it yesterday. And I rode this bike today. Did 200 miles on it. And so I wanted to give you my first impressions. And there's a few people doing videos like this, much more professional than me. They've got splash screens and, all this kind of stuff, intros and etc. I don't have any of that. I'm just going to get right to the meat. There's going to be a few questions that people have about this bike. Is it worth the money? It's a $35,000 motorcycle once you start adding all the tax into it, right? Plus, you add some options. It gets there pretty quickly. And the other question that you might ask is it worth upgrading from a V4S to a Pikes Peak? And I think the question is best answered by asking a different question of yourself, which is, what kind of riding do you do? If you enjoy cruising, if you enjoy commuting, if you enjoy, just touring around and going to mountains and seeing things, and, maybe you go out with your friends and you kind of, do a little bit of a spirited ride, perhaps, not super fast, but you're not finding the edge of the tire. You're just kind of going with the flow. Not heavy on the brakes, not heavy on the throttle. Then I would say the V4S, great bike, perfect. The tires I would fit on that bike, if that's the kind of riding you do, I would take the Scorpion 2s off as soon as I could, once I've torn them up, and then I would put the Pilot Road 6s on them and just keep riding road. Ducati is kidding themselves if they think that bike is a adventure bike, an off-road machine. It is it's a sport tourer. It's not an adventure bike. If you want to know why they took away the 17-inch wheel from being standard in the Multistrada and they put it into only the Pikes Peak, it's because they're forcing people who value the 17-inch wheel to buy a Pikes Peak. And that actually priced me out. And I make, a good living as a software engineer here in the Bay Area. And I looked at that and I couldn't afford it. And the only reason I bought this bike now is because I had a motorcycle accident. My insurance paid me, out for the injury portion of it. And that money is, half of it went into this. I've got money coming back as a replacement for the previous Multistrada that I had. But that's still being worked on. Not worth it if all you do is that kind of riding. If, however, you have a group of friends that all have super sports and you're getting a little old like me and your back isn't as good as it was, and so you're not on a super sport, but you still ride quick, you're still finding the edge of the tire, you're still braking hard into the turn, and then you're powering through the turn and standing it up and wheeling out of the turn, and just wide open throttle, across bridges, so you can hopefully launch yourself and jump or do a wheelie or whatever, and you're all giggling with each other over the comms, then this is the bike you want. Or find the You know, they are still selling the Multistrada V2. I don't know if it's the 1260 engine or not. But if you can find a 1260, you know, Multistrada, get that. That is, you know, 90% of this. It doesn't have the Öhlins, or Öhlins, whatever you want to say, but, you know, you can set it up pretty well. And with a good exhaust system on it and a what do they call it? Rapid Bike Evo, you don't even need to dyno it to make it go harder. It'll go harder. And so, you know, get up to close to what this does. But you know, if you want the best motorcycle in the world, or at least the best, I like to call this a super sport tourer, because it is not an adventure tourer, right? You're not taking this off road. I don't think you're even taking the standard V4 or the V4S off road, right? And they've just released the enduro version of these bikes. Are you really going to take a $30,000 motorcycle off road? Like, you're going to dump it, right? Like, I don't know anybody who hasn't dumped their adventure bikes. So, you know, Ducati's plan here, I think, is a little skewed, a little weird. I think they really need to rethink their plans and focus on the Desert X for the adventure riders. And then these bikes, the V4 engine, it's really special, guys. Please, 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 please sell the V4S with the Öhlins suspension, right? And a 17-inch wheel. And get rid of that 19-inch wheel. That's silliness. Go back to the single-sided swing arm for all of them. And then the Pikes Peak model, fit the better exhaust on it, which is what you do. Fit the race ECU mode. So that what that does is it increases the rev limit. You know, make it a little special, right? Make it so that it is a little bit special. The carbon fiber pieces and all of that, which nobody really cares about the carbon fiber, but it looks nice, right? The short screen, etc. Different bars, you know. But because you can totally do that differentiation. You've done it for years. You've done it for a decade. It works. People bought the Pikes Peak. It was never, you know, in any danger of not being bought. But yeah, make the Öhlins a thing, you know, on the V4S. Because that you will sell a lot of, right? Because it'll be 90% of a Pikes Peak and people will be happy with it. And then the Desert X, you can focus on it being the best possible, you know, off-road adventure bike. This thing will keep up as sports bikes, right up until you get onto a track, right? Once you get onto a track, things get, you know, change. But if you are a spirited rider, if you enjoy, you know, your Sunday morning rides and you like going quickly, then absolutely get a Pikes Peak. You will not regret it. I can tell you that authoritatively after 200 miles. I'm blown away by this bike. There was an article last year that stated, I think it was MCN, said that the Multistrada V4S is the best motorcycle ever made, or at least that year. This beats it. So what does that make this? Makes it the one, right? A little rude, but yeah, it's good job, Ducati. Love your work. If you ever want me to test ride any of your new bikes, by the way, feel free to send them my way. I'd be happy to do any kind of tests you like. If you want me to put like 10,000 miles on a bike for free, absolutely, I can do that for you in 6 months. Yeah, great bike. I will say that, you know, the downside of this bike is it is missing a lot of standard features. You know, you are spending $29,000 is the list price for this thing, MSRP, just under $30K. It doesn't have heated grips. It doesn't have TPMS standard. Doesn't have a center stand. I guess that makes sense for the Pikes Peak, but still. It doesn't have heated seats. You know, like these are things that should be standard on the The Pikes Peak should be the peak of Multistradas. It should be the apex predator. But, you know, you go and add all of those features and, you know, it's another $3,000 on top of everything else, right? So, you know, you're looking at $32K, and then you add the tax, and that's, you know, at least where I'm at, another $3,000. So it's $35K. So, you know, it gets up there pretty quick. Yeah. So Multistrada V4 Pikes Peak, fantastic bike. I'm keeping this bike for my weekend rides. I have a Yamaha MT-09 that I'm going to use for my commute when I need to. This thing is going to get a little bit of babying from me. I'm gonna fix the paint, get some ceramic coating on it, make it look nice, make it easier to clean, because I'm very lazy, so having it easier to clean would be very nice for me. Yeah, thanks for watching the video. I realize I kind of rambled a little bit, but I will make more videos. I'll make more videos about this bike, and I'll even make some videos about the MT-09 that I've got, because I think it's a really interesting machine. It's a very different beast to this. I think it's for the middleweight. I think it's actually probably the best middleweight on the market right now. So I'll make some more videos. I want to talk about a little bit more about the quad lock system. So I made a video about that recently. I'm incorrect, by the way. That electrical unit doesn't work, or at least on my Yamaha. Could be something I've done wrong, but there you go. So I'm going to make videos about about stuff I've learned, and I'm going to try and do this a little bit more regularly, mostly as documentation for what I'm doing. All right, thanks guys.